And good Sunday afternoon, everyone. This is John with Pure Adrenaline Fantasy Sports, flying solo so far on this Sunday afternoon. Sean might be able to join us here in a little bit. He was out doing something this morning. Said he'd be home. Hopefully, he said he could be home by about 1 o'clock. So I'm going a little long today. We got the Eagles Browns game. We'll do a little bit of when that comes on as well. So let's take a look at some of the scores from week 2 of preseason. Let me know who your teams are over in the chat. And if you're new here, hit that follow button. It gives you 300 points, and then you can tell us right there, cash in some of those points. Tell us who your favorite team is. So let's put this up on the screen. Boom. Let's look at some of the scores from Thursday, Friday, and Saturday. Like I said, we got the Eagles or Browns coming up at 1 o'clock on NFL Network. Actually, living here in Pennsylvania, I'll get that game on Fox. Bengals Giants tonight at 7. They're not showing TV. Oh, NFL Network. And then Fox. The Ravens Cardinals. Ravens have like a 21 game preseason winning streak, so we'll see if they can keep that intact. And then tomorrow night, my Jets play the Falcons to close out week 2 of the preseason. So so far, no major injuries to speak of. Fantasy wise, I know Tampa Bay had a guy get hurt yesterday. One of their guys that was fighting for the left guard position. But we'll look at all the news here in a minute. Let's check out some of the scores. The Bills beat the Broncos. The Lions beat the Colts. Chiefs beat the Commanders. Raiders beat the Dolphins. Steelers beat the Jaguars. I'm going to check that one out. I want to see some of the quarterback competition here for Pittsburgh. Let's see here. Rudolph, 17-21. Pickett, 6-7 with a touchdown. And Trubisky, 5-8 for 60 yards. So it'll be interesting to see what they do for their last preseason game. My guess is they're probably going to pick one of these guys and let them play a little bit longer. How about let's look at some of the games. Chicago beat Seattle. Seattle. Did Locke play? I didn't watch that game. Okay, Locke didn't play. Eason and Smith played, so it looks like Geno is going to get the starting job there. Fields only 5-7, 39 yards. Probably only played a drive or two, so. Excuse me. Let's keep looking at these scores here. It's not letting me go back. There we go. Oops. We'll use that in a minute here. Titans, Bucks. It looks like Brady will be back with the team soon, it said. So I'm not sure what's going on there. 49ers, Vikings. Chargers, Cowboys. 32-18. That's the game they're replaying on NFL Network right now. Panthers, Patriots. Saints, Packers. Let's look at some of the Packers wide receivers, see if anybody stood out. Love was 12-24, 100. So not a great percentage. One touchdown. Previous week he had 3 picks, so that's much better. He stopped that. But let's look at their receivers. Daubs, 3-24, touchdown. And that's any of these other guys are probably just fighting for depth, would be my guess. Texans, Rams. So, yeah, it'll be interesting to see some of these quarterback competitions. Let's look here. Lions, Colts. Let's see what here. Boyle and Bluff. No Goff for the Lions. So it didn't look like many of their main guys played. So, I mean, some of these teams. Well, I guess when you're trying to build depth and you only have 3 games to do it now instead of 4. Usually, the 4th game is when you would really play all the backups and such. But it looks like guys are getting more than that now. Especially the Rams. The Rams don't play their starters anyway. So, yo. Rye Cannon here in the chat. Rye Cannon, you available? You want to hop on screen? I can send you the link. Let me know. I know you had some plans today, so either way, thank you for being here. Come on, maybe talk a little bit about your Seahawks. We could talk a little bit about the Pure Adrenaline Fantasy Football League. That draft is over. I'll take a look at that. We'll the vote. Not everybody voted in the schedule. It's currently 8-0, so that's more than a majority. So we will randomize the schedule here on stream. But let's look at our first ever draft here. Oops, I had it here somewhere. I'll see if Rye Cannon can hop on before we talk a little bit about that. So let's look at some of the headlines here from the NFL. Let me refresh it. Todd Bowles reiterates Tom Brady will be back this week, but won't say anything more specific. Early this week, he says. So, maybe I don't know. I don't know what he was doing, man. It's none of my business what he was doing. So, if the team's okay with it, why should I care, right? Preseason week 2 continues. Oh, okay. Yeah, my plans got ruined, so I'll try and get myself together. It might take 10 minutes. Yeah, I'll send you the link. I'll DM it to you on Twitter. If you can hop in for a little bit, that'd be great. Sean will be here sometime as well. He had to run out and do something as well. So let me send you that link while we're doing this. Copy. Twitter. All right, I got that invite sent to him, so hopefully he can join in. I haven't heard from Sean yet. What time? He said about 12:45. So, but let's keep looking through the headlines here. People are here, so if you're here, thank you for being here. Leave a comment like Rye Cannon did there. Ask any questions you want. We'll talk fantasy. We'll talk anything football related. So let us know who your favorite teams are. I'm going to put this in the chat here. If you're on Discord, make sure you hop on our Discord. Oops, I didn't want to do that. Get a drink here. For you guys, who's standing out the first couple weeks preseason on your teams? Maybe either a position battle that's going on or something else. Let us know what your thoughts are so far this NFL preseason and what your expectations are for your teams in the regular season as well. So let's get back to the news here. Ian Rappaport says, what did we learn from Saturday's pack slate of preseason games? Yeah, over in the chat as well is the link for our yearly projections. You can also get those on our Discord all the time. They update those links update automatically. So if an injury happens, I readjust projections for that, and the same link will work for that as well. So those are always there. We do have, let's see, that's for yearly. Our weekly projections are only available for people that subscribe to the channel. So if you go above and beyond and subscribe to that, we'll get you added over on the Discord so you can get the links for those. Until we get our website built. Until then, we have to do everything through Discord. Here's Schefter. Yep. It's repeating the same thing about Brady being back. The Texans cut veteran linebacker Tay Davis per source. Here it is. Jenna Lane from ESPN. Sources tell me that it's a torn ACL, MCL for Bucs guard Aaron Stinney. Really tough break. He was very much pushing for that starting left guard spot. Yeah, that's what I said at the top of the show. I knew that there was that injury on their offensive line. So that's going to hurt. That could potentially hurt them a little bit. What's up with Tom Brady, Mike Garafolo, and I discussed this on the week's podcast. Let me check here. With 3 games scheduled for Sunday, Eric Edom provides one thing to watch for from every team in Week 2 of the NFL preseason. Let's check him out. Let's see what he's saying here. Oops, let me go back. One thing to watch from all 32 teams. No, here we go, Sunday. Following the news Thursday that Deshaun Watson has been suspended for the first 11 games. Will not play the rest of the preseason. Brissett would not play against Philadelphia either. Other quarterbacks on the roster, Josh Dobbs and Josh Rosen, are in for extended look. So it'll be interesting to see who gets the backup job there. And once the suspension is over, does Dobbs or Rosen stay on the team as well? So let's keep looking here. Cincinnati and the Giants. I'll watch a little bit of this one. Wonder what the Giants are going to do. I don't think the Giants are happy with Daniel Jones. That I know there's still another week of preseason, but it wouldn't surprise me if the Giants are the team that trades for Jimmy G. But we'll see. It'll depend on how much they like Tyrod Taylor. And then tonight, the Baltimore Ravens and the Arizona Cardinals. Like I said, the Ravens are trying to keep their undefeated streak going. I believe it's 21 straight games. So I know it's only preseason and it doesn't really matter, but I don't know about you guys. When my team plays, I always want to see them win, no matter what kind of game it is. So, and then my Jets on Monday night against the Falcons. Joe Flacco, I'm not sure if they'll start him. They might, since he didn't play Week 1 preseason, they might give him a drive or two. Just to get him there because it looks like he's going to be the Week 1 starter. Wilson could be back, but they're not going to rush him back. If he's not 100%, they're not going to play him at all. Not really fantasy implications. Probably only have, if you do have Zach Wilson on your team, he's probably only your backup, or if you got him last year. Oh, big injury. For who, Ryan? Was that the one for Tampa Bay, that offensive lineman you're talking about? So actually, let's look ahead. Let's look ahead to next week, the final preseason week, because then next week is the final preseason, but college football starts as well. So yeah, the O-lineman, he says, yeah. Yep, like I said, he was fighting for the starting job there. So that's a key injury. But let's look Thursday. We got the Packers and Chiefs. Definitely going to hurt the depth over there early in the year. Yeah, absolutely. Let's take a look here. Thursday night on NFL Network, we have the Packers Chiefs, and I'm going to have to check this out. Thursday night, the 25th, Prime Video, 49ers Texans. Now, they were trying to work out a deal where people on Twitch could live stream games. I have not seen any official word of that as of yet, so I'll keep looking into that. Let me write myself a note here. Twitch, Amazon, NFL. Yeah, absolutely gonna hurt. But let's look Friday. We got Buffalo and Carolina. A lot of these games are probably going to be like the fourth preseason game used to be, where it's guys that are on the bubble, just trying to make the team. I don't see many starters playing for anybody. Then Friday we have NFL Network is Seahawks Cowboys, Chargers Saints, Patriots Raiders on Friday night as well, and then Saturday night. Oh, there are games Sunday. Oh, okay. Let's see. Saturday, NFL Network at 3 o'clock. Jags Falcons. 6 o'clock. Rams Bengals. Washington Baltimore. Philly Miami. Chicago Cleveland. Arizona Tennessee. Tampa Bay Indy. Saturday night at 9, we got Minnesota and Denver. I wish Sean was here to talk a little bit about his team. Rye Cannon says, "Go Hawks, baby." Yes, sir. It'll be interesting to see. I guess Ryan. I guess Geno Smith is the starter. Locked in to get any playing time this past week, so it'll be interesting to see. When Sean gets here, we can ask him a little bit more about his Vikings, what they got planned going on over there. But then Sunday the 28th, the Giants Jets, 1 o'clock on NFL Network, and then at 4:30 we got the Lions Steelers. I'm not sure if Harold's here. Harold is a Lions fan. Harold kind of stuck to his word in our fantasy league. He told us he was taking golf in the first round. He did not take golf in the first round. He took him in the 14th round. But yeah, he still. But Geno did not look good. Geno did not look good, huh? Let's take a look here. Did I miss it? No, here it is right here. Geno did not look good, and Pete did not look happy. Yeah. Honestly, I'm surprised. I don't know what your take is, Ryan, but I'm surprised since they did trade, make that trade in the offseason. I'm surprised Carroll didn't either retire or get let go. If you're going to rebuild, it's time to start fresh. I don't think Carroll's in it for the long haul, so I think the team's kind of stuck in between on what they want to do. But you probably have a better pulse of what the team is doing. So let us know there in the chat, or I did DM you the link when you want to hop in as well. So let's see here. Geno 10 of 18, 112 yards, no touchdowns, no interceptions, no rushing yards either. So yeah, 10 of 18, not great. That's less than 60%. You want your quarterback to be above that 60% mark, and closer to, if possible, closer to 65 to 70, somewhere in that range is where you want your guys to be. So how about your running backs here? What do you think? DJ Dallas, he going to make the team? I know you guys have pretty good depth here at the running back position. I'm surprised that they refused. Let me put that on the screen. I'm surprised that they refused to give Drew a shot. Not surprised about Pete. He basically gets to run an NFL team more than any other head coach in the league. You know. So, I don't know. I'm not sure what's going on there up in Seattle. That team has gone downhill since they traded for Jamal Adams. Dallas will make the roster. Excited for Walker. So, yeah, Kenneth Walker. We'll take a look here. Before we start watching the Eagles Browns. We'll look at the fantasy league for the channel here in a minute to see how everybody's shaped up. No, he's even saying before the Adams trade. So. When Paul Allen died, yeah. Yep. That's for our thing. Like I said, the vote right now in the league, we can actually take a look. Let's go over and look. I'll refresh it. You basically have an owner that defers to Pete. So let's look here. League schedule. I put up. Let's go with the sleepers randomized schedule, which is on the screen now. Or let us randomize the schedule after the draft during the live stream, which I have everything set up to do. So we'll take a look at that now. Well, in a minute. Hopefully Sean or Ryan comes on. So let's keep looking through the news here. Oops. Nope, we don't. You guys don't want to see my Jets news. Bucks, yes, Stinney suffered ACL. Yep, still reporting on it. Bucks offensive line continues to be banged up. Worse is day to day with oblique. Now Stinney is out for the year, and Jensen is out indefinitely with a knee injury. Jody doesn't know squat or care about football. Can't wait for her to sell. Yeah, are they doing that? Are they setting things up to sell? Or I mean, and I know NFL teams are moneymakers, so just setting up a bit. No, that's fine. I just didn't know if you decided not to or not. That's fine. Coach Tybals. Oh, we already reported that. Let's see what else we got here. Steelers Mitchell Trubisky almost chose the Giants in free agency due to the relationship with New York head coach Brian Daboll. Yeah, I'm actually surprised he went to Pittsburgh. I actually thought that would have been my guess that he would have went with the Giants. Also, sounds like maybe 2 to 3 years on Seattle selling. So, yeah, and I don't know. I know the league just got done doing the whole Broncos deal. So maybe they only do one at a time. Something to watch today. New turf was put down here in Cleveland on Tuesday/Wednesday. It's been raining all morning, and we're expected to have some rain during the game. Well, first off, they shouldn't have done it the week of a game. I don't know. I don't know what went into that decision. Maybe something else is scheduled there. Heading into tonight's game at Arizona, the Baltimore Ravens now have won an NFL record 21 straight preseason games. Yep. Besting the record that Vince Lombardi's Packers set with 19 straight preseason victories between 59 and 62. So last week Sean was right on top of that with their win streak. There are 2 Sundays away from week 1 in the NFL. No. Counting today. 1, 2, 3. We're 3 Sundays away. What? Come on. Let's see. Then get 2 Sundays until Ravens start. It's 3, but yes. So I don't know. In case you missed it, Kenny Pickett shines and Steelers win, but Tomlin won't rush to make judgment on quarterback hierarchy. For more context, the injury Thornton suffered was a fractured clavicle per source. Is this the rookie? Is this the rookie from New England? Yep. I had not seen that. Suffered a collarbone injury, sources say. Around 8 weeks for Thornton. I don't have him, but I know now not to take him in our dynasty league. We have our rookie draft, our rookie draft next week. Now I know not to take him. So let's look. Let's keep looking here. Let's show you some things we're working on here. Let's put this over on the screen. Let me get rid of this so you don't see. I didn't get it done in time for this year. I was working on it. I just didn't get it done. Had plenty of other things to work on. But I'm writing. Raikkonen putting the Pokecatch in there. Yep. Hopefully he catches it. I go to his channel. He's got the Pokemon playing as well. I never catch it. So, but let's look. Let's put this back up on screen. Oops. Make it bigger here. This is what it's going to look. Our draft guide for next year. I wanted to have it ready for this year. It couldn't get it done. These aren't even the right projections. I don't have the full projections up for this year, and I do have the page set up for next year, but like 22. Well, we haven't played 22 yet, so there's no stats. So these are just numbers I put in here, and that's one of the things we brought Raikkonen on for. He's going to help us do a lot of the player profiles for us. So, yeah, for the draft guide, I mean, it'll give you the last couple of years. To see how the player fared. If he was injured, it'll say, how many games he played in and stuff like that. And we'll have little player write-ups heading into the season as well. So this is what I have been working on. So it's a long process to do all this work, but once it's done, it'll be done from year to year, except for adding the new players in the draft. Yeah, he's saying hype. Yeah, absolutely. But it was actually starting this business and starting this channel. The draft guide has always been something that's been on the to-do list, and it just keeps getting pushed off. But now this year, with things getting where they need to be for the projections, like I don't have to adjust the projections anymore. They automatically run on their own now, so I can turn my eyes towards this. Game kicking at 12:30. No, game kicking at 1:00, Ryan. 1:00. 1:00 for the Eagles and Browns. And just let Sean know. Going along. Getting on StreamYard now. Let's go. What up? I'll get this set up here as well. Let's go back over here. And since Raikkonen. Let's see. Let's see if he hops in. I'm in 1 minute. Go smoke one. Let's go. Oh man, that's funny. What's funny? It says you're in. Oh, maybe you didn't completely come in because I don't see you here at the bottom of the screen yet. Wow. What's it? What? Why? On called for. We'll get this going here as well. Let's while we're still waiting for the game and stuff, let's look at some of our projections for the year. Josh Allen, Mahomes, Herbert, Brady, and Murray are our top 5 projected quarterbacks. And right now, Prescott's there at 6, and we only have him projected less than a half point behind Murray. So, what do you guys think of that? Who's too low on the list here? Sean just texted me back. Let's see what he's saying. Look at this guy. Let's see. Do I have hype music here? Let me see here. Let's figure this out. Let's see if we got some hype music. Let's see here. Let's find some good hype music for this guy here. Oh yeah. Ladies and gentlemen, the leader of the Golden Guys. I can't. What up, bud?
I've been going up every day. Let's go.
How are you today?
Doing great now. Definitely.
Yeah. So you said your Seahawks. You're a little disappointed that Locke's not getting a fair shake. You're blaming Carroll, but what do you think's going on there?
Man, it's a weird situation because when they first brought him in, you would think that he would have the up. Like you would think that when you bring in the new guy, the younger guy, you would think that off just the fact that he was in the trade, he's the new guy, you know what you got in Geno Smith, you would think that at least it would be a even playing field. If not, you would think that they would probably prefer Drew Lock to start because he's got more potential. But instead, it has seemed like all training camp, all any Seahawks reporters can talk about is how Drew Lock looks better with the twos, with the backup offensive line, with all this stuff. It's not making sense to me. And then Drew was finally going to get some work with the first team people and then catches COVID literally the same day. So now the reports are coming out that it's likely that Geno's going to start, and based off of what I saw in that preseason game, I just don't know. And I mean, it's just preseason, so I'm not as invested in that, but I just don't know if Geno has any type of a ceiling past maybe like 4 wins, 5 wins. And I'd at least like to have some excitement for the season with like somebody like Drew Lock. I feel like at least provides something. I feel like Seahawks fans were looking for something from the moment we traded away Russell Wilson. Well, okay, is it going to be Malik Willis? Is it going to be Baker Mayfield? Is it going to be even? And now all Seahawks fans have literally reserved themselves to, okay, we will settle for the season with Drew Lock. Let's just see what he's got, and we can't even get that. We're going to rock out, and we're going to see pretty much I have no idea what we're planning on seeing. Probably a lot of run game and then game management from Geno Smith is what I'm assuming the plan is for Pete, because the way they've stacked the running back core and the way that the offensive line is built now, I think they are heavily invested in that. It's just very interesting because I'm very surprised that they won't give Drew Lock a chance to even see if maybe he can be the guy. Because that was all the reports.
Oh, yeah, right. And you bring up Pete Carroll. So what do you think of Pete Carroll as a head coach? And do you think he's the right guy going forward?
No, I haven't thought Pete Carroll was the right guy for years now. But pretty much right around the same time, I think most Seahawks fans started to sour was right around the time. Maybe like I would say most Seahawks fans were probably getting sick of Pete right around like the season before maybe Paul Allen died, and then things have gotten louder and louder every year since, and it's pretty well known that nothing was going to happen because it came down to basically the organization, and Jody Allen was going to either decide between Wilson or Pete Carroll, and now that decision's been made, I'm firmly in the camp that it is Pete's show until Pete decides that he doesn't want to run it anymore.
Yeah, so we'll see. We'll see what happens there. If for those that are just joining us, Ryan, why don't you tell everybody in the chat? Says we got 4 people here. Tell them a little bit about you and your channel and what you got going on over there, and I'll give you a shout out over on the chat so people can check you out as well.
Sure. So, yeah, over on our Twitch, you just play a lot. I mean, we play a lot of sports games, play a lot of other stuff too, but lots of sports talk, lots of hype as always, lots of crazy times. We play some wrestling a lot, play WWE, Madden, all different kinds of stuff. But, yeah, man, it's just about good times and building a community with a bunch of people that you can really just talk about with all a bunch of different stuff like movies, sports, just a place where you don't have to feel so alone. Basically, cool. Is the kind of place that I just like to have.
Yeah, cool. Your channel is awesome. I love the people on your channel as well. A lot of them do come on over here as well. But yeah, last night I was just getting ready to go to bed at 1:30 in the morning, and I get the alert that Rye Cannon's going live.
Yeah, me and Meatball got on for some late night Fortnite last night. We got a win, first game on too.
Nice. So that's good. So what we did here, we did hold a fantasy league that filled up pretty quickly. So we did a slow draft, learned a little bit about how to actually do a slow draft, so I know what to improve on for next year and what not to do for next year as well. So I do have the results here. So let's start looking at some of the teams, and then you and I will go through, maybe talk a little bit about why we made a pick at a certain position here.
Sounds good.
So let's see if I make that bigger. We'll leave it like that there.
That's it.
All right, so you ended up with the second pick. Of course, Taylor went number 1. I think no matter who ended up with that pick was probably taking Taylor. You end up going Henry number 2. Why Henry over a guy like Eckler or maybe even McCaffrey?
Okay, so the guys that I was really struggling between, first of all, I'd like to say I do not like having a very high overall pick.
No, me neither.
I was very sad about that from the second I saw it. I feel like having one of those early picks, it's not often so much a tone setter because I feel like almost it's guaranteed to be an overdraft. Like unless you pick the perfect person who happens to stay healthy, like it's always going to be like an overdraft. So I really just wanted to go with somebody who I would feel comfortable in that second position. So I was between Henry, Eckler, Justin Jefferson and maybe a little Cooper Kupp, but Cooper was definitely somebody I started to fade the more I thought about it. Derrick Henry, I think he ended up being the pick just because I think if he is healthy, he is the best running back out of every running back on the board, and he will get the most work out of every running back on the board if he is healthy. The Titans aren't like built even like the Colts. The Colts actually have a better roster of running backs behind Jonathan Taylor for sure than the Titans do. But yeah, the real tough choice was between Henry and Eckler, I would say, with that pass catching ability from Eckler. But Eckler's had his own injury issues too. So if I'm going to bank on one or the other, I think I'm just going to go with Derrick Henry. I had him in one of my fantasy leagues last season, and I think by the end of the year, he still ended up literally like top 5, top 10 in fantasy points. And he only played, I think, 10, 11 games, which was just insane. So if I can even get that production early in the season and then replace, even if there is some kind of an injury, if I can get that production and get rolling, get a head steam going, I'll definitely take it.
Yep, and then we had we won't go pick by pick here. Yeah. We'll definitely look at the first round here, but then a surprise pick here at 3. Pookster from over at your channel took Kyle Pitts early, but actually I the website I put everybody's teams in. Everybody has a pretty even grade, so everybody even though we might question a pick that early, everybody has a decent team. So but then the golf fence went Eckler, McCaffrey, the problem is we're not supposed to worry about injuries from previous seasons.
That's impossible. Not with a guy like McCaffrey.
Right, exactly, because it's every season for McCaffrey.
There you go. It's Derrick Henry is a little different. Like 1 year, I can't worry about that as much. I got to just invest in the guy. Christian McCaffrey is a guy I couldn't imagine hinging my team, especially like your first pick. Like every team there, I'd say has at least one guy that they can at least be confident. I mean, injuries are going to happen. There's probably going to be a guy in that first round that doesn't make it through the season. Knock on wood, for everybody. You don't want to see it go that way. But, I mean, just all like Christian McCaffrey is a guy who you got to be worried about before you even start.
And then Jay Philly took Harris from Pittsburgh. I thought after the first 4 rounds, I thought Jay Philly was just going to draft every running back that was available. But then Jefferson and Kupp went back to back here. Meatball took Kupp. Like you said, you could have taken him at 2, right?
Definitely. I love that pick from Meatball. I was very happy when I seen that in the thing. I was like, for him to get Cooper Kupp that late in that first round, that's an absolute steal. Yeah, I'm really surprised. Like I said, somebody like Frank didn't take Kupp or Jefferson a little earlier.
Right. And I was hoping one of those two. I was actually planning on taking receiver first round because I thought Jefferson might have slipped to me here at 10.
If Jefferson would have slipped to you, that would have been amazing.
Yeah. But then
I'm surprised Jamari was that far.
Yeah. Yep. And I did think about him, but I like going running backs early. But then Cook. I agree. Cook goes here. Then I ended up with Mixon. I was actually debating between Swift and Mixon here at 10, and I'm like, you know what? I'll go with Mixon, and then take the next available guy who I thought was going to be Kamara. But then Chase goes. Then Sean took Kelsey and Allen back to back. Man. So, but let's take a deeper dive into your team here.
We'll be interested to see how that plays out, though. Not picking a running back or a receiver in the first 2 rounds, and then having the last pick too. So he had to wait all the way. He ended up with Nick Chubb, so it didn't end up too bad. But that's a long way to wait for your first skill position guy, especially with our league where we have more flexes.
Right. And agreed. He's very thin at running back. Chubb, Penny, Pierce, and Herbert there from Chicago. But I believe is the backup anyway. So
yeah, I was going to say potentially only one guy who could be the starter
right
halfway through the season, because who knows what's going to happen with Rashad Penny.
But let's take a look at let's take a look at my team first. We'll go Swift. I went Swift in the second round. I like the catches out of the backfield. We do get the point per reception. That's why I went him there. But then I went Mahomes and Kittle. Trying to think. Then I went Miles Sanders, who's already banged up. Might miss week 1, so I'm gonna be hurting there already. Godwin's banged up already. Then I went Ertz, Mooney, Woods, Boyd. I went on a wide receiver thing there. Then I went Chargers here because I knew if I didn't take the Chargers going this way here, Sean was definitely taking them here.
I was gonna take them with that next with my next draft pick too. The Chargers defense.
Oh, were you?
Yeah, and I ended up with Spiller, so it ended up working out.
So then I went Hines. I really like that pick. I know he's the backup in Indy, but he'll get probably about 40, 50 catches out of the backfield.
There you go.
But then what's funny is I went with another defense just so Sean couldn't get him. I didn't want Sean to have the Steelers defense, so I ended up taking them as well. But then I took a gamble on Odell in the 14th round, and my backup quarterback, who I'll only use once this year, Baker Mayfield. If he can stay healthy, hopefully I can use him only once.
Yeah,
but yeah, what do you think of my team overall? Where am I weak and where am I strong?
So I did have a question about the Zach Ertz pick. That really, that was one that surprised me when it first went down. I mean, I get Kittle's injury issues, but I was surprised that Ertz was the selection there.
Well, because of our flex, we're using that extra flex spot, and it can be running back, wide receiver, or tight end.
I got you.
So
is there any specific reason why you targeted Ertz over like a Dawson Knox or Pat Frymuth or one of those guys?
Yeah, I think he's going to put up better numbers than those guys. I mean, if you look, Fryermuth went 2 rounds later.
Yeah,
and Knox did go the next round. But
yeah, like 8 picks later.
Yeah, but yeah, I just like him. I think he's going to put up better numbers than those 2 guys. That's why.
I got you. I love the Swift pick. It seems like the Lions. I was literally just watching Hard Knocks last night. It seems like the Lions are invested in making Swift that guy this year. So if there's ever a time for him to have his season, it will probably be this year. Holmes, Kittle, great duo to grab there back to back. Kittle's one of my favorite fantasy tight ends to grab, even if he does have his injury issues. If you can grab a second good tight end and then get 12, 13 monster games out of Kittle, which he's definitely good for a season, you have one of the 2 best tight ends in the league as far as fantasy, as far as real life skill goes. So, like, if you're not getting Kittle, Mark Andrews, or Travis Kelce, I mean, Darren Waller can go in there too. But if you're not getting one of those guys, I don't see any reason to even pick a tight end. Like,
where did Waller
the first
go?
5 rounds? Kyle Pitts, I'll give a pass to. Every one of the other tight ends. Waller actually went right after Kittle.
Oh, went right after Kittle.
Back-to-back.
Oh, that's right, because I'm friends with Justin, and he texted me that he was going to go with Kittle if I didn't pick him there. So, and what's funny is I told him I debated between Kittle and Waller. So
yeah, there you go. Waller was a good pick. Waller was
so
really good pick too.
A couple things happened to me here on ways through. Here I wanted here with this pick going this way. I wanted Elijah Moore from the Jets. Justin took him right there, right before my pick. Gainwell, I was going to take Gainwell instead of the Steelers, but since Gainwell was gone, I had to take the Steelers, so Sean didn't get him. And then Meatball took a couple of my guys here. Before me, he took Christian Watson from Green Bay.
Yeah,
after me, I waited. I thought Sky Moore was going to make it all the way around to my next turn, and he took him there. So I was like, really? And then here in the 14th round, he took Robinson, and here in the last round, he took Myers. I'm like, because I was going to wait on my backup quarterback until I absolutely needed one, and I would have just picked somebody up. I'm like, man, Myers in the 15th round, got to take him. And there he goes.
Yeah.
So,
The Watson pick, I was telling him like, oh man, that's a guy I would pick up if I was in your spot right now, especially because of the Green Bay Packers situation. Like he could end up being like a real threat this year. And then the Sky Moore pick, I love that pick, but that was all him. That came out of nowhere. I was like, whoa. I like the Robinson pick too.
yeah, yep.
Get a running back that could be starting week 1
Yeah.
late is
Yep.
huge. Like that's all I kept thinking about. Like when I was looking at that, I'm like, man, how many like running backs that aren't like or that are starting are getting picked that late? Like
Right.
that was a great pickup. Like even some of the running backs that got picked before him, Chase Edmonds, Devin Singletary, they probably won't get the opportunities early that James Robinson will, as long as he's healthy.
Yep, agreed.
Even Jamal Williams went a full round before Robinson did. He's Swift's backup. Like, look at that.
Yep. So let's look at your team. You went Henry, Andrews, Metcalf. Why don't you go through the list and tell us what you were thinking at each pick?
Yeah, so I'll go pick by pick. So for the Mark Andrews one, I love getting, like I said, if I wanted to get one of those main guys, if I didn't get Travis Kelce, Mark Andrews, or George Kittle within those first couple rounds, I was going to view it as I'm not going to pick a tight end until the bottom 3. So I was going to try and get one of those guys. It was a tough decision right there, trying to decide whether I wanted to go with Andrews or one of the other couple guys I had in mind. Like I was thinking heavily about acquiring DK and Debo both. I don't know how that would have worked out, but we'll never know. I like the Andrews pick just because, like I said, there's really only like 4, maybe 5 with Kyle Pitts now emerging, guys that you can really bank on to be like big threats. Mark Andrews is one of those guys, and I can trust Mark Andrews a lot more to stay healthy than I can George Kittle.
Mm-hmm.
So it really just comes down to Andrews and Kelce, and I think to be able to get Andrews nearly a full round after Kelce went, it was definitely an easy pick for me. And then the DK pick, I just didn't want to win.
Well, if you would have went Debo there, do you think Metcalf would have made it back to you?
Now that's the biggest question. I didn't know at the time, but I do know for a fact now that no, because Pookie said to me right afterwards that he would have taken DK.
Oh, okay.
So I'm glad Amar convinced me to just take him then, because I was going to wait. And Amar was like, you're going to be mad if you don't have your boys. So I was like, you're right. I'd rather go out with my guy than not have him. Oh, and then the Lamar pick. So quarterback-wise, there was definitely a couple different guys I was thinking about. I didn't want to go quarterback too early, so Josh Allen was probably never going to be in my range. Neither was Mahomes. I was definitely Lamar, Russell Wilson, Rodgers. Those were definitely some of the guys I was thinking about as my starter for the year. Just don't trust Kyler Murray or Jalen Hurts enough. So once it came down to it, I was like, you know what? I think Lamar has the most potential of probably any quarterback, except maybe Derek Carr could have a crazy season, but as far as the legs go, Lamar's got the most potential to explode in fantasy over just every quarterback if he can stay healthy, which I also thought through, because I've always had the plan of grabbing not a backup that will probably play one game, but a backup that could potentially play and maybe be the starter if I need him to be, because that's why I went and grabbed Trey Lance. Cousins would have been another decent one. Was surprised that some of the other quarterbacks went as early as they did after some of the quarterbacks went. Like I would have probably grabbed Stafford on his way back if he would have made it to me to be my backup, for example, but he didn't make it. So I went with Trey. I think he's got a lot of potential, got the legs as long as he can stay healthy. The Niners are one of my teams that I have favored to win the Super Bowl, so I definitely have a big investment in seeing one of these quarterbacks stay healthy and do well.
Yeah. Yep. Agreed there. Let's keep looking here. Then here you go back to back running back with Mitchell and Patterson.
Yeah,
Your thoughts there?
the Mitchell one was tough for me. I was between a couple different people, and then I ended up. It was actually between Eli and Miles Sanders because I really wanted another starting running back. So I wanted somebody who I could feel confident in, at least going into the season, because we had Derrick Henry. I wanted somebody else that I could look at and be like, yeah, that's a guy that I know is going to get at least 15, 20 carries. So in talking with Amar, basically he was letting me know, like, yeah, you can do whatever you want, but Eli Mitchell is the starter for the Niners going forward. Like, he's going to be getting the lion's share of the carries. And I'm like, that's all I needed to hear, because the Eagles, for some reason, doesn't seem like they like Miles Sanders being very successful anyway. I don't get what it is. I like Miles, but it doesn't seem like the Eagles like feed him enough anyway. So if I had to, I was just picking based off of really that. And now Miles is banged up, so definitely might be working out in my favor. But who knows? It's a long season. And then Cordell Patterson, I'm just surprised he was still there. At that, I thought that was a no-brainer. Like, there's not even another consideration when you get to the end of the 5th round and you have one of the people who performed the best last season. Mm-hmm. It's not even like I have to bank on him performing to that same standard again at that rate. Like, basically just fell into my lap.
Yep. Then you go Devonta Smith, Damian Harris, who I was actually hoping after I took Ertz, I was hoping Harris would last to here where my Mooney pick was. Nope, not doing that wrong. My Woods pick. But once you took Harris there, I went to Moore from the Jets, and he got taken as well. But good backup there. But Smith and Renfro is two year wide receivers. What were you thinking there?
Yeah, Devontae, was a guy. We talked about this probably like near a month ago. There was a projections thing. Might even have been like my first time on. We were talking about the projections, and Devontae Smith was projected like real low. And I'm like, I think Smith could end up being the number 1 receiver for that Eagles team this year. I'm nervous because I really don't like Jalen Hurts as a passer, but I think Smith is very talented, and I don't have to rely on him to be a number 1. I like the receiving core I got around Devontae. So the potential really is just for anybody to take that second receiving spot out of the guys that I got from. The only guy I'm not really expecting to take that number 2 wide receiver spot is Julio. Anybody from Hunter Renfrow to George Pickens to Mecole Hardman to Devontae Smith, they were basically pure potential is like, hey, I could see any of these guys having a really great season. Renfro's going to get a lot of looks his way just because of all the talent he's got around him now. George Pickens just looks like a menace on the field, which I already love either way. Just put that on my team just to get it on my team. And then Mecole Hardman, I really think is being truly undervalued. If there's one person I can bang the table on, if you still haven't picked in your fantasy leagues, Juju Smith-Schuster and MVS, they are going in rounds 4 through 9. And then Mecole Hardman is literally there in free agency. If you can grab him with like your last pick in your draft, I tried to grab him like right before the end because I think he has the potential to be the best receiver on that Chiefs roster, and he's getting picked after, like I said, Juju got picked in round. Where was that?
Let's look here. Juju.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Juju got picked in the 7th round, and MVS got picked like 2 rounds later. And then I got Mecole. I could have got Mecole in the last round, really, if I wanted to.
Yeah, probably. Especially this way. Going this way. I know Giants was definitely going to take Galladay either at one of these last 2 picks.
And then who knows with the Everett pick, but
yeah.
I think it would have made it back around.
Yep, probably. So you pick your Raiders as your backup defense.
No. Defense straight up.
They're your starting defense.
Yeah.
What are you liking about the Raiders defense this year?
The pass rush really. Once I lost out on that Niners defense there, with that pick, I was hoping literally I only have 2 picks in between Spiller and Julio Jones, both from Giants, and when he took the Niners there, that kind of shook up the end of my draft a little bit because I was definitely planning on taking the Niners defense with my third to last pick. So I started reanalyzing and looking at the talent, and I didn't want just a defense that I thought would be solid. Like the Colts, I feel like they could be a solid defense this year. Same thing with the Steelers, but I wanted a defense that I feel like could have some boom or bust potential because worst comes to worst, I picked them in the last round and they get cut for another defense anyway.
Right.
But best case scenario, Max Crosby and Chandler Jones go out there and absolutely cause havoc because I've watched Chandler Jones a lot over the years in the NFC West. I think Chandler Jones is one of the best pass rushers of the last decade, and to be able to see him on a different roster and with a guy across from him that's getting a lot of attention already, it's going to be interesting to see how that defensive line performs.
Yeah, agreed. I want to look to see. Let's see here. Let's look at our defensive projections for the year. See, look how late I got Pittsburgh, and I have them ranked as the number 1 defense on the year.
Yeah, that's a steal.
Mm-hmm.
They definitely will get a lot of with.
Look at this guy. This is Sean here. Hey, guys, sorry I couldn't make it today. No. Don't give me excuses. You could have been here. Put the pen down, turn the laptop on, and get in here. You could do that during the race, bud. You can do that during the race. You're wasting time. So I actually, before the game starts, Ryan, I wanted to go through because I don't know if you saw it. Here on the league chat, it is an 8-0 vote to let us randomize the schedule instead of going with Sleeper's schedule. So we'll actually do that. And how I'll do that is I have here all the teams that joined, and when we joined, I was first, you were second, Overlord was third, all the way down to the Golfens was the last team to join. Because when you put it in the schedule maker, it doesn't let you randomize the schedule. You get to make one schedule. So I'll actually randomize the teams to do that, but to get a randomized number, I will roll these fake dice here. But this way we have a witness 4 times. So we will randomize this list 4 times. And this will be the order I put. I'll put it on screen, but that's 1, 2, 3, and 4. Here it is, 4 times. Let's put this. Oops. What I'll do is I'll do it over on this screen, but here, see, I got to put all the team names in this, and then you hit the show me the schedule, and then it'll show our yearly schedule, and I'll just have to upload it to the app.
Cool.
All right, so let's see here. Pooks is number 1. Is Pooksta? How am I saying it? Am I saying it right? Am I saying it wrong?
Yeah, you're saying it right. I just call him Pookie.
Pookie, okay. 4. So what'd you think of the draft?
It was definitely interesting.
Doing a slow draft. I know I messed up a little bit, and a few things I have to change for next year. But overall, the slow draft process, what'd you think?
Oh yeah, I definitely enjoyed it. It was definitely different, not like so much of a rush. Like everybody got time, and I feel like it felt more like an actual draft. A lot of the times, like when you're going in for a fantasy draft, you kind of get in, get out, and you've only really thought about your team for about 5 to 10 minutes overall. But in the fantasy draft that we were doing, like we got you really got to sit there and think like for a good amount of time. Like who knows if I would have made some of the same decisions I got to make if I wouldn't have been able to sit and develop the thought process that I did over time.
Let's see here. Overlord's usually here. I'm not sure. I haven't seen him in the chat yet today. Is he there?
It's a busy Sunday. Oh, it's all good. I'm so used to it with the stuff. Everybody's got stuff going on all the time.
Justin is at number 9 here. Number 10 is New York Giants. Wonder what team he roots for. Meatball Arcade. Oh, that's funny. Meatball Arcade. And the last team to join is actually the last team I'm putting in also. Offense. So let's look. I'll put this back on screen that I have all the teams in there.
Ooh.
And, okay, all the teams. Show me my schedule. And there we go. I will print this out and get it loaded up.
Oh, let's go.
So let's look. I play the Golfense week 1. You play. Oh, look who you got week 1.
Me and Pookie. Let's go.
So let's see. When do we play each other?
Yeah, now I'm looking around for everything. I got Overlord week 2. Oh, I got Meatball week 3.
Oh, I got Sean week 2. I got Jets Chaos week 3.
That's awesome. Oh, there we go. Week 4.
Yep.
Just wait for week 4.
Wait for what? What, for me to be 4-0?
You ain't gonna be able to shut me up. Oh my goodness.
All right. So I'm actually gonna print this out so I don't lose this.
That's awesome. That was really cool too.
Let's
Got
see
the whole
here.
thing lined up.
Yeah, let's print this. And I'll get that loaded up after the stream. Let's put. We do have the game getting ready to start. If it hasn't started already, I'm not sure why it's not on my TV. Uh-oh, my printer's not working. And this isn't working either. That's why. I don't know why Sean's not hopping in here.
Man's busy buying a house.
No, he's home doing nothing right now. All right. So I got the game going there. So yeah, let's see here. I don't think, especially coming Thursday night in week 3, I don't think we'll see many starters playing in next week's preseason games. What do you think?
No, we're wrapping up. I mean, there's already teams doing the preseason is different now than it's ever even been before. It feels like the Panthers didn't even use any of the preseason games as competition for the 2 quarterbacks. They just went straight up in practice. It's definitely been a weird preseason because, I mean, the Seahawks have taken the total opposite. Everything is competitive. If you're a person who made a bad play in one of the preseason games, you're one of the first 10 people that got cut already. Like, for real. That's why I was so excited to see Drew. If Drew Lock would have been able to perform in this game, I just know we would have a different starter going into week 1. Because I read that, whatever. Not much you can do about it, but it's definitely been interesting to see different teams handle preseason different because some teams are not putting much stock into it at all. And then other teams, like I was using the Seahawks as an example, are putting a lot of stock into the preseason.
Mm-hmm.
Just because you still got to perform, whether it's the number 1 guy on the roster or the number 85 guy.
Yep.
That's how you become a part of the 53. Oh, it's actually going now.
Oh, game tracker. There we go. So
This is going to be an interesting one here.
Looks like the Eagles' offense is on the field first.
Is Gardner getting a start today?
can't tell who that is. Number 10. Who's number 10 on the Eagles?
That's a good question.
Little dump off. Oh, big play. Oh, he stepped out of bounds. Minshew is starting. Scott with a nice play there.
They're actually, them starters for Philly should actually do pretty well then with Minshew, Boston Scott. They've got some guys that have plenty of in-game experience. And Minshew got to be one of the best 5 backups in the league.
Yeah, agreed. I'm surprised he hasn't gone anywhere else to try to get a starting job somewhere.
I think once his contract's done with Philly, he'll probably explore like another thing similar to like Mitch. Maybe wait a couple of years, or I mean, he's in a position in Philly like he could take that spot from Hurts.
Let's see. That'll be interesting to see. Wonder why this isn't working for me. Live. How about there we go. There we go. So on my TV, I'm actually behind because it looks like they're down in the red zone, and I have them at the 50-yard line.
Big game coming up. Philly is definitely one of the teams that's going to be most interesting to watch this year. They went out and got some big new faces in A.J. Brown, and then on defense, they just drafted the monster Jordan Davis.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of talk about him already.
What's weird, it showed him down at like the 15-yard line. Now it has him at like the 45. So I don't know. Maybe CBS's thing is glitching out.
Probably trying to catch up with itself.
So because the chat's quiet, we'll just cover this first drive. What do you think there, right guy?
Yeah, it's all good with me. I've had a great time coming on.
What do you got planned for today? Anything? You can do some streaming?
Oh yeah, we got a big universe mode pay-per-view planned for later today. We're gonna do the first pay-per-view of season 2. Money in the Bank.
Nice.
So that's going to be fun. I might run some Seahawks franchise in the meantime for a little bit, but I'm debating back and forth on getting some stuff done. But yeah, it's always a great time coming and hang out. Definitely helped improve my mood. I was supposed to go to the movies. I got left behind.
Oh, not cool.
Not cool at all.
What were you going to go see?
I was only going to go see Thor, but it was more just to get out. I wasn't. I've heard the movie wasn't all that great or anything like that, but it was going to be nice to get up out of here and do something. So
yeah.
Definitely nice to be able to talk some football and get my mind off of being sad.
Yeah. Yep. Oh man. Minshew.
Oh, man, they're okay.
I got them down to the 23-yard line here.
Yeah. In the stats, it already says that Minshew threw an interception.
No, actually, if you look at the columns, that's off.
Oh, it's off.
Like here, look, they're supposed to have a column here for points.
Oh, okay.
So completions, attempts, yards. So this would be touchdowns, interceptions, points. So they're missing the column header.
That's weird.
So they are marching right down to wide open. Down to the 14. So the screen shows it a little different. Yeah, see? They have them down to the 7, so I'm going to play behind. We'll definitely be streaming more during regular season games.
Yeah. That would probably be a fun idea. Definitely get maybe started like a half hour before some things start, and then get in for maybe the early half of games or or red zone week, something like that. Some fun things. All the fast-paced action.
Yep.
I can't wait for the season to start. I can't believe we're only a couple Sundays away.
Oh, and it flies. Once it gets here, it flies by, unfortunately.
I know. It comes and then it's gone. Just like it feels like it takes forever to get there. And then once it does, it's like, let the good times roll. Hey, but it's the perfect time. Fall is not my season, so the faster football season helps it go, that's fine with me.
Ooh, stopped them. It's going to be 4th down.
Wow, they're going to attempt a field goal.
So a nice little drive there by the Eagles. Thank you, Rycan. Thank you for being here. Thanks for hopping in a little bit. Let me put us on full screen here. Once again, give out your channel information so everybody knows where you're at, and I'll shout you out in the chat again.
Yeah, my hair looks super poofy. Yeah, everybody, Rycannon18. Always getting lit over there. Just always having some great times on Twitch, playing some different sports games. Sometimes we play some open world stuff. Always just laughing, smoking, having a great time with some great people. Honestly, I think that's one of the coolest parts of all this is all the amazing people I've gotten to meet, like John. This whole thing is just I have nothing but love for Twitch, and I love doing it. So if there's one reason I would say to come by, it's because you can definitely feel that energy. If there's one thing that it just feels like home. So that's basically the best way I can describe it.
Yes, sir. That describes it perfectly. So I did shout you out there. So guys, go over and check Rycannon out. Make sure you have notifications on so you know when he goes live. We'll be back Thursday night as well. Talking, I forget who the games were Thursday night, but we'll be looking at any roster battles that are still out there, answering any fantasy questions that you got. Fantasy season's right around the corner, so most leagues are either done drafting or getting ready to draft. I know my dynasty league that I'm in with Sean, we draft next Sunday, so
not bad.
So things are good there. It looks like the Eagles have second and goal here. So I can't believe Sean didn't hop on for a couple minutes. What a clown! Guy's a clown.
Definitely plenty of good times to come, though. We got plenty of football, there's going to be plenty of news to talk about. I mean, we got all these rosters. I mean, over the next couple weeks, just within the next 2 or 3 streams, they're going to go from 53, or they're going to go, from 80 to 53. So you're talking about a lot of guys losing spots. There's going to be a lot to talk about, going to be a lot to analyze. And then for every guy that loses a spot, there's going to be another team that's like, oh, that player might be better than a guy we have already. And then there's going to be even more. So we're literally just getting into the thick of things. So if y'all are ready, if y'all are already following, if y'all are prepared for this awesome football season, you better get ready right now because we ain't got much time left.
Yes, sir. And just like that, the Eagles punched it in for a touchdown there. So making it 7-0. So, right, guy, thanks for hopping in. Hopefully we can see you Thursday night as well, bud.
Always, man. Trying to get here as much as possible. I do have off on Thursday, and I have my first ever football league for any kind of money. My uncle invited me to this
nice.
year. So definitely going to be interested to see how the draft goes for that. Everybody wish me luck.
Yeah, good luck. Let me know how that goes.
I definitely will. I'll show you the team and everything once it's all said and done.
All right, man. We'll talk to you later.
Sir, it's always great to be on.
Yep. See ya.